and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the A-hole. If you are new here or haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This episode will be another Mother's Day episode, considering it's today/tomorrow, depending on where you live. Titles are on the screen, and let's get into it with Am I the A-hole for not wanting my mother-in-law around on Mother's Day tomorrow? For background context, my mother-in-law has ignored me since darling husband and I got engaged 9 years ago. Since, we've had 3 babies and she's turned up each time for cuddles and again not acknowledged me at all. If I greet her, she'll ignore me if husband and father-in-law are out of earshot. We see the in-laws pretty much every weekend. I'm not happy about that, but I cope. 2 weekends I put my foot down: a Mother's Day, which is this weekend here in Australia, and my birthday weekend. In preparation for having a weekend off from the in-laws, I encouraged darling husband to take the kids and spend the weekend with them last week. That was my give to them so that we could have this weekend to ourselves. I've just heard darling husband making dinner plans with them tomorrow. I'm not happy and have again said to him that I would like to spend the weekend to ourselves because his mother ignores me and that's not how I want to spend Mother's Day. I even reminded him a few weeks ago so that we were on the same page. He's gone and ignored me and done as his parents want instead. I asked him what dinner they were making plans for, and he somewhat reluctantly answered tomorrow, knowing full well how I'd feel about it. Now he's saying that I'm not letting him spend Mother's Day with his mum. I've also told him to go see her and never had any issue with that, but kids and I will do our own thing. He won't do it because the in-laws only really want to see the grandkids and he knows it. He's told his sister that I want to stay home so won't be doing dinner, but this is his way of leaving it open for them to come over. This has pissed me off. Am I the a-hole for saying that I want this day to myself? Am I being greedy by not conceding dinner? TLDR, mother-in-law has ignored me since 2010. I refuse to spend Mother's Day with her. Darling husband says it's not fair that we don't see her on Mother's Day. Am I the a-hole? Update, darling husband is driving an hour to have early dinner with his parents. Kid and I will make our own fun at home. No, I don't think you're the a-hole. I probably wouldn't want to be around someone like that on Mother's Day either. Like, your husband knows that weekend is one of 2 weekends a year that you agree to have just as your family. He should be spending it with you. He can do stuff with his mum for Mother's Day on a different day, like it doesn't have to be on the day. But I guess a good compromise is him going up and you not having to deal with that crap. And the next one is, am I the a-hole in this Mother's Day scenario? So to keep it short, I'll just say that my wife and I have a 6-month-old and things have been on the rocks lately. She doesn't show me any patience and respect, and I don't think I've been showing her any either. It's a quid pro quo crap sandwich and it's pretty tumultuous. We've been seeing a therapist. Because of that, we haven't really been doing much for each other. Lately, it's been a steep decline ever since the baby showed up. No real dates, no celebrating. I've gotten her flowers and taken her out on rare dates, but nothing too consistent. I help around the house with the baby, of course, do any honey-do lists, etc. But there's not much passion in it on either side. Anyways, this is her first Mother's Day. She said it was important, didn't want to be disappointed. I figured we needed a mood boost. So I plan to get my parents to watch the baby while we go out on a nice high-end steak joint. I tell her a few days ago we have a reservation at a restaurant. She's excited, I'm excited, I felt like I did good. Now today, the day of the date, she finds out that all I had planned was the dinner date and she goes ballistic, tears cursing, how could you, etc. Tells me to cancel reservation, don't drop the kid off. She wanted it to be more special. What do you all think? Am I the a-hole? I feel like she wanted something more special than just a dinner, like actually do something fun and, pampery and special, as opposed to just going out to, like, as good as you tried. Like, I'm not saying you didn't try, you definitely tried, but I feel like she may be dealing with some postnatal depression. I know you're seeing a therapist, but that might be something that needs to be brought up there. But yeah, I don't really think you're the a-hole, but I think you probably should have tried a little bit harder. And the next one is, am I the a-hole for ignoring Mother's Day? Just before Mother's Day 2018, my mum wrote a nationally published article, What Your Mother Doesn't Want for Mother's Day. Actual quotes below, edit quotes were actually removed because someone threatened to dox them after Google searching the quotes. In it, she says that she hates Mother's Day ever since her own mother passed away. Now, this was not news to me. She told me this a few years back, but decided to keep celebrating anyway. All of the listed terrible items are items I've gifted her over the years. She continues to say that Dad does all the work, wakes the kids and allows them the credit, who all trapeze into a room with breakfast in bed unenthusiastically to give her their boring, crappy gifts. Then she lists the reasons why the gifts are terrible. Essentially, I'm crap who thinks it's funny to have no filter. She then lists items she does want: a ticket to a play, an expensive bottle of gin, cinema passes to see something I want to see for a change. I bought her a cinema pass one year. She left it idle until the last minute and gave it to the two youngest kids to use. I got her tickets to see a comedian. She fell ill and gave them to my dad and brother. I buy her gin every Christmas. I texted the kids and asked if they had got to read the article before it went live. They did, and they told her it was hurtful, but she posted it regardless. Her Facebook pals all applauded her courage for telling it like it is. They won't know what it's like until they have kids. So I replied publicly on her post about what ungrateful, hypocritical assholes they are, given that they teach us it's the thought that counts. The two older teenagers are working part-time paying for college, and the two youngest are too young to work and rely on pocket money. She replied, "Shake my head, you missed the entire point, read it again," to which I reminded her that I am literate and have decided Mother's Day will no longer be celebrated for her benefit. I blocked her online and skipped 2018 and 2019 Mother's Day. But her birthday was the same day this year, so she claimed my gift for both and ignored me every time I clarified it was a birthday-only present. My siblings still live there and still have to get her something. In my opinion, my mother put her social media followers ahead of her family's feelings. She's done this several times. Every now and then she'll mention the fact that she's still blocked, but I just shrug it and ignore it. I still celebrate Father's Day, and my dad always loves his crappy presents. Am I the a-hole? It's the thought that counts for it. Like, your mum is the a-hole in this situation, not you. I wouldn't want to get my mum anything for Mother's Day anyway. And yeah, I would have blocked her too. I'm sorry that you have a mother that is like that. And the next one is, am I the a-hole for being upset that I will not be acknowledged this Mother's Day? Some context / backstory. I, 23 female, am currently pregnant and also have a 3-year-old child. My husband, 34 male, is a disabled veteran and stays at home with our child. We are very fortunate that I have a great job that, when coupled with his veteran disability benefits, provides a modest but comfortable life. I do work a lot and am in graduate school full-time, and I've voiced that I feel like I don't have much time to rest or relax. Here's where I'm not sure if I'm the a-hole. We went out today after I got off work to find some new storage containers. My husband asked me if it would be okay to go to his mum's on Sunday to cook her dinner for her. I was not invited. I asked, why Sunday? Because I was hoping he would remember it's Mother's Day for me as well. He says, because it's Mother's Day, as if I'd forgotten. He'll be cooking for his mum at her house. I'll be home with the 3-year-old. When we got home, I went upstairs to our bedroom. I'm not a screaming, throwing, slamming doors type, but I did slam the door and I do feel terrible about it. However, I'm upset that there'll be no plans for me on Mother's Day. I'll be home entertaining our toddler while he loads up our outdoor smoker and smokes meat for his mother-in-law's special dinner at her house. I haven't left my bedroom or spoken to my husband. He hasn't spoken to me. Am I the a-hole for expecting some sort of Mother's Day celebration? I don't want him to disregard his mother, but I would like to be acknowledged as well. I work so hard and go to school full time so that we can have and continue to have a comfortable life, and have truly been burning the candle at both ends lately. I'm so disappointed that there's no plans for me, but I feel like an a-hole for being upset that someone isn't doing something special for me on a Hallmark holiday. I truly am not the look at me, give me attention type, but I was really hoping that I would just get a day for me. I always go all out on Father's Day and was hoping that maybe this year would be my year for reciprocation. I feel like an a-hole for expecting my husband to do special things for me on a day he has already planned with his mum. I feel like an a-hole for feeling like I deserve anything extra for doing what a mum and wife should do by working hard to provide for a family. I just feel like an a-hole. No, you are not the a-hole. Why? Like, in the comments, OP says that she usually works Sundays And that's why, because she doesn't usually go to family events because she's working and stuff like that. So that's why she doesn't think she was invited, but knowing that she's not working, she should be invited. And I feel sorry for her if her husband thinks it's a great idea that after she works during the day, to then have to come home and just look after the child and not have anything special happen, like it's just another day. You should be going over there too, or he should be staying home and doing something nice for you. And the last one for today is, am I the a-hole for wanting him to stay home for Mother's Day? I'm currently experiencing what I believe to be food poisoning, headache, major cramps, machine gun pooing, and nausea. I foresee myself in this position this whole weekend, so when I asked my fiance if he'll be staying with me even though Sunday is Mother's Day, he hesitated and basically said it's Mother's Day. Some context, we are moving to Seattle in August, so I completely understand how this may be his last effort to celebrate the holiday, but I feel as though he should be with me during this rough time, especially as my future husband. Am I the a-hole for wanting him to prioritize me during my illness? Yes. You have food poisoning. Like, hate to break it to you, but food poisoning doesn't need a carer. Like, sure, it can be really crap. Get yourself a bucket, sit on the toilet for a few hours, while he's out with his like his plans that you've obviously already had. He shouldn't have to cancel because you're sick. Fair enough, you don't go. That's totally fine. If you happen to get worse and have really severe symptoms, then sure, maybe he can stay home and make sure that you're okay in case you need to go to the hospital or something. But if it's just your standard case of food poisoning, there is nothing that he can do for you that you can't do for yourself. And that's where I'm going to leave it for this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me, why not. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, and I will see you in the next one.